Hello. I have gone through some really horrific last 3, 4 days. It was tough. And that's also why I didn't make a video. And we are at the other house right now. And it already started at the other house. I couldn't sleep anymore. I had really severe sleeping disorder problems for the last 3, 4 days, nights. And I made a mistake of not going completely raw vegan right away. I should have done that. That was my wake up call basically when I couldn't sleep anymore. I attributed only to the stress, but it's a combination of all kinds of things. And the reason why I'm making videos about this is because this all ties into my activism. I want to help people. I want to help people understand that making food choices is not just some kind of fad dependent decision, or some kind of agenda or some kind of like temper tantrum situation. If somebody says to me they're gonna have their steak and all of this, then they should eat their steak and get a heart attack then. But since I care, I tell people that it is really their choice that they make. If they want the steak, then they have to expect to go under the knife eventually, okay? Because they're not going to do holistic health and all of this. So what I'm trying to bring across in my videos is holistic healing, and there's only one choice we have, is we only have the one lease on life, and that is to go completely raw, fresh vegan, to drink herbal teas, to experience, to explore all these different herbs that are growing around us. There are such amazing healing herbs around us. They are not like you don't have to go to Japan to pick ginseng stuff and those types and those exotic types of herbs. You have herbs in your own backyard or on your parking lot even that are growing through the creaks and cracks of cement in big congested cities even. They make their way out there. They want to live. They want to tell us, hello, I'm here. Don't ignore me. I'm here. I know you're only thinking about your groceries that you just bought from whatever and your pharmaceuticals, but I'm here. And they're coming out of these little creaks and cracks with their tender little sprouts, and they're waving at you and they say, don't ignore me, I'm here, don't poison me, don't cut me out. And people don't realize that they're ignoring the most precious healing medicinal plants there are on this planet. Dandelion as the #1. And I've made a video about this in the past, a couple of years ago, on a different channel, and boy, I got a hater on my back. A physician, I think, looked like from England, and boy, did I trigger that ego with my video, my harmless video on telling people to use dandelion to heal liver cirrhosis. And boy, did this person come after me and insult me and use the F word all the time. I never did. I never insulted. I never used the F word. I was very polite. But the more polite I was, the more hostile that person became. In the end, he didn't have any more arguments at all, because none of his arguments are based on truth. It's based on the Merck manual and the pharmaceutical industry standards of treatment and intervention, it's not healing. Okay, that's for sure. Those are short-term interventions that often don't work very well and create 20 new side effects, which also in turn have to be treated with pharmaceuticals, which also have 20 more side effects. So you see how this exponentializes pretty fast. And then in the end, you're going to be on the table being cut up, and because you're going to have your liver removed or something. That's not the way to health. Okay, so they shouldn't even call themselves health professionals. And this is YouTube. I'm voicing my opinion on this. I practice my right to freedom of speech here. Okay, I'm not a doctor, but I am a person with a good brain who is able to observe things very accurately. And I have been observing things for the last 49 years, and I know what I'm talking about. I'm not a teenage boy. I got some wrinkles, okay? So, take this really into consideration what I'm saying here, because this is very important. I am my own guinea pig. I am testing this all out for everybody else. Okay, I am going through this, but I'm going through this before I go under the knife, before I have my gallbladder removed, before I have serious treatments or toxic interventions or stuff like this, before I had to have my bowels removed. Okay, so when I had the bowel irritation, the day I went to the doctor, because I thought this is getting serious, the day I went to the doctor, I started on raw completely, and let me tell you something, it only took a few hours. By the time I was in the doctor's office talking to the doctor, I was chewing on my raw ginger root, showing the doctor my raw ginger root. Doctor was very cooperative, great guy, progressive, okay, and fantastic, and the assistant was great as well. And they supported me on my decision to go raw and not do any pharmaceuticals and interventions. He said I needed to go in the MRI machine, but he didn't have that there, so he would have to send me to someone else, and then it would cost like $1,000 or more. And I thought right there, why should I undergo all of this? Go in the MRI machine may be interesting to do, because it's non-invasive, but it does have electromagnetic radiation of some sort. You know, it's like crawling into your computer. But other than it telling me what I already know, basically what I'm already guessing, is not, the MRI machine is not going to fix me up, right? It's not doing some kind of psychic healing on my body, quite rather the opposite, because puts even more stress on the immune system to be in that confinement, and the air is probably not very good in there. Other people were in there. There's germs in there, electromagnetic radiation, and so on. So the wise decision is to read a lot about holistic health, read as much as you can, because when the situation comes where you need to make a decision, you will have the knowledge to implement it, you will have the knowledge to act on it, and you will know what to do in detail. You will know that this is just it's a warning sign, the bowel is inflamed, and it's become chronic, and it is definitely a reaction to a cause. It's an effect to a cause. Find out what the cause was. There's always a cause when there's an effect. Okay? So if you eat junk food, and during that time I was under a lot of stress, as I usually am, I ate a whole bunch of chocolate, And then I got this severe inflammatory bowel syndrome that lasted for over 2 weeks. And after the 2 weeks, I got finally scared. I said, okay, now I'm going to the doctor. But I already went raw on that very same day, which was my lifesaver. Because if I hadn't done that, then the tests that I have, that they did on me, blood samples and stool samples, they would have turned out pretty alarming. But by the time I did the stool samples, my body had already completely fixed itself. It only took 2 to 3 days to completely fix itself, and whatever pathogens may have been there, they were all dead because of the radical raw garlic, cayenne, ginger cure that I was doing. So, and you can't just take dried pills and stuff like this, or powder, or the dead, basically kind of like dead materials, or even tinctures. Yeah, tinctures are better, and teas are better yet. But the best is to ingest these things completely raw. The way they were grown, the way it is still alive, it's just cut from the lawn, just fresh from the farmer's market, that was harvested that same day, still fresh and alive, healing substances and life cells. Life causes life, and that's what Dr. Scholz always emphasizes. And I advise everybody to go on the website of Dr. Richard Scholz. I will put the link under the video. It is fantastic. Dr. Scholz was the main teacher in terms of natural healing in my life, for sure. He's an amazing person. He's an angel, and he has healed thousands, tens of thousands of people all around the world. He has healed people who were in last stages of terminal illnesses. People who were in last stages of cancer. I don't like to say the word. I always say the C word. So the last stages of C. Okay, and doctors give up on those. Okay? They just do patch up stuff so that they feel less pain. They prescribe whole shitloads of pain medicine, pain plasters and patches. I had a girlfriend. I say have because she's still in my head, and she's still alive inside of my head, and in my photo album and in my heart, and I will never forget her. My best friend, Birgit. Birgit is for me like it's the prototype of a situation of what should really go into the manual of holistic health as an example of what not to do. Every stage Birgit has gone through in her life almost was the wrong path. It was the wrong turn. And I can get into this in another video. It will take too long now. Maybe I'll make a video about this tomorrow. But last night I felt like this is it. This is it. I'm now, my brain is locked into a state of never relaxing again. It's a real serious neurological condition, and there are people that die from that. I have seen documentary films, and I could just feel it. I could feel the way that it's become a neurological terminal illness in those people. did everything, of course, that led them to that. There's a reason why they ended up like this. Then the doctors, they're puzzled over it. They think it's genetic, and yeah, there are always genetic dispositions for this and for that to come out. But it only shows when we do everything that leads us there as well. It doesn't show up just by itself. That development. Some people can live abusive lifestyles, abusive to their bodies, and still live to be 100 and sleep well at night and so on. That is certainly genetic, but that's a complete rarity. I mean, those are statistical margins. They they don't make up any kind of valid statistical evaluations. You always have extremes that fall out of the statistical norm, that fall away from that the mean, as they call it, the average graph, the mainstream graph in the coordinate system. There's always these stray points, okay, that you have. But when we talk about health, we talk about the average population, the average genetic disposition. The average genetic disposition is not that of somebody who can tolerate a whole bunch of physical abuse. It's just not happening. Then there are people who even fall under that mainstream, who are even more sensitive and prone to illness, even with less stress and abuse. So, but we're talking about the average, and I'm trying to help all of us, so that also the highest sensitive person can also receive help and doesn't have to blame it on a disposition. Okay, we're not helpless. We may have certain dispositions, but we can absolutely work with them, and we can fix ourselves. It is absolutely possible. And Birgit could have fixed herself. I know that for sure. Okay, so, but she went on, and she is in a different form now, and she's happy now. What I'm trying to say is that maybe she was here in order to teach and to show us, because it's such a very clear-cut case with her. She was such a kind-hearted person, but I'll get into this more in detail tomorrow, because that's a very sad and interesting story that can also enlighten a lot of women out there, and men as well, but since she's a woman, she has gone through a lot of abuse that is very typical for a lot of women to go through. So anyway, I ate cheese, I ate yogurt, I even ate ice cream again. It's a accumulation of many different factors that come together. It's usually not always one thing. It is usually different things that create a certain outcome, different variables that will play together, and that will also exaggerate the outcome. That will make it not just double but tenfold worse if they are in combination. So stress from my animal rights activism, the stress of the images that I see, I already do this here, don't show me, and I hold my hand over it, and I say, don't make me see it, don't make me see the images again, I cannot handle it. And so I'm already doing this, but just the glimpses of what I do see is not going anywhere. It's not evaporating out of my brain. It will stay. it will anchor itself in like some kind of screw that will be screwed in like with an electric drill motor, and it will stay in there in its neurological space forever. And not just will it stay there, it will create problems the way it's anchored in. And I suffer from that every single day, and I am one of these people who are in the minority of the statistics that cannot handle any type of horror and stress. I'm extremely sensitive. I'm a highly sensitive person, and that's even a psychological term now for people who are like way above average sensitive, and it is not fun. I I don't brag about this. This is a handicap rather than an advantage. It can be an advantage because I might be seeing danger before other people see it, but to live with that is definitely not something one should wish for. Okay, it's not a picnic to live with this kind of hypersensitivity where I can't handle any noise. Earlier, the two cups, the ceramic cups, they banged together up in the shelf because I was cleaning something up, and the sound of it, this ping sound, this extreme, unbelievable vibration that it caused of the ceramic clinging together. That already something that makes me have to sit down and cry, okay, for an hour or something. I'm that sensitive. I cannot handle any noises. I can't handle coldness, like psychological coldness. As a child, I saw people's energies, and my mother told me, "Don't be silly." And I drew evil eyes, as I called it. I drew evil eyes with a vertical slit in them as a pupil, and there were eyes everywhere in my paintings, all over the place. Eyes and eyes and eyes and eyes. Everything was full of eyes staring at me. And so that's how I felt when I went shopping with my mother. It's always been like this, and it's still like this. It takes me some real courage to finally get out and go into the store and deal with the energies of all these people that are in there, particularly the people at the cash register. There's always a whole chunk of energy that I have to deal with, and then do the math, the milkmaid math at the same time. It's not happening, okay? So I have to do my math. It takes me only 10 hours after I did my shopping transaction, and I will stand somewhere by the side, by the water containers, try to squeeze my shopping cart all the way to the side so that the other really obese people can squeeze past me, and I have to look at my receipts and see if I wasn't cheated. And then if I was cheated, I have to go right back and say, wait a minute, this was, and so on. So, but I am that overwhelmed, and it's not fun to live like this. But then again, it's a specific task that I have in this lifetime, and instead of complaining about it, as I have done for the most part of my life, and blaming my mother, I have to, and it's not my mother's fault that she has the DNA the way she has, and my mother has it a lot easier in many, many respects. She has the ability to suppress things, and my dad too. My mother has particular ability to deny things, basically from existence in her brain, just make things not there. You know, if something happened that she didn't like, she can make this in her head not there. It's just erased it, like deleted it from the computer. She has that ability. That's pretty cool. That's like self-anesthetizing. I don't have that ability. And that's also why I am where I am right now. That's why I'm writing books about this. That's maybe my other chance. Now my chance to help other people. So, and I'm using it as that opportunity. I'm trying to make the best as I can with my life. And last night it was kind of like it was almost like a pivotal experience. I had a lot of pivotal experience with health and rethinking, but last night it actually felt like after I finally took like 30 valerian root capsules because 5 were not enough. I took another 5, was still not enough. And then somewhere around 6:30, after I still couldn't sleep, and I was lying down there with unbelievable horror movies going through my brain for 6-7 hours straight, I finally decided, okay, so this isn't going anywhere. I'm not a Wim Hof who can make herself warm or not feel the pain or detoxify herself at will or make the situation calm down at will. I cannot do it. So I had to go back in the kitchen. I had to pull my, thank goodness I knew, and I already provided myself with 4 new bottles of valerian root capsules because I can never have enough of those in my shelf. So I pulled out another 30 capsules. I don't have anything else in the house even. I don't have Valium or those type of things. You know, I don't have pharmaceutical stuff. I think Paul has it somewhere stacked away. I don't even know where it is. It is probably doesn't even work anymore. It's old. We have never even touched it. He hasn't even touched it in many years. So because I only go with holistic, and I have a few times that where I did try some, where I had to go to the doctor, where I had to go to the psychiatrist in the past, and all of this, and you know, we're so habituated in this way. If something goes wrong, the first thought we have, I need to go to the doctor. That's always like it's so drilled into us. We don't even think about it. It's like the very first reaction, and but then always to see again and again and again that the pharmaceutical stuff just doesn't work. It doesn't bring that effect. It causes more problems, actually. It doesn't even really work that well. It causes 10 more problems, and it just feels really wrong and bad, and you feel even more toxic. So it's just not the solution. And the sleep isn't a natural sleep if you take Valium. You know, it's not like, oh, relief, like they show in those commercials. What's it called? Zimbecca helps your life, or Zimbalta or something. And they have this cartoon, and everything is great. Stars and hearts are in the air. Zimbalta works, you know. Zimbalta doesn't work anything. Zimbalta is causing more problems in the future. It is complete toxicity. Zimbalta is toxic. Okay, that's what we need to realize. Sorry, Eli Lilly. Okay, peace. I mean well. Okay, sorry about this, but I have to say the truth because I've been on all of these things. I can talk about it. I've been on it. I've been on about any kind of drug you can possibly imagine. Sometimes in combination, sometimes single, then sometimes in cocktail mixtures, self-composed, and so on. The pharma drugs make things worse. and I've experienced it, and I have the right to voice this opinion on it. I know that is the truth, okay? But and why should anybody go through this? Why should people put their children through this? If they don't have to, if they can put their children on raw, fresh vegan food. But that means they would have to do it themselves too. They can't just barbecue and say, no, you're eating your salad. You're not gonna get this or that. But we will, haha. That's not gonna work. A parent has to make that lifestyle switch together with the child, or a husband has to make that lifestyle switch with the wife, or with anyone he lives with, or with a roommate even. You can't be living with a roommate when the roommate is barbecuing in the kitchen and you are smelling that and it is bothering you during your transitional time becoming a raw fresh vegan. It's just not going to work. That's the same as somebody smoking and while the other one is trying to quit. You have to both quit the toxins, you have to both quit the animal products, and you have to all go raw fresh vegan. Otherwise you're not going to help anybody. So, and my husband is willing to do it now. He has diabetes, and if he doesn't go raw, it will do to him what it did to his mother. And he saw what it did to his mother. She suffered to death for 10 years, a gruesome, horrific suffering because of type 2 diabetes. And it is not necessary, okay? And she ate sugar and she ate all of this and she took the pharma medicine. It just made everything worse. So we have the knowledge today. The knowledge is out there. That there are thousands and thousands of articles out there and research data and peer-reviewed research that backs all of this up. I am not fabricating this. I'm not trying to hurt the bank accounts of the pharmaceutical people. I am saying the truth. I'm trying to rescue all of you, including you, Eli, Lily, and everybody who works for them, okay? Including you. Consider that, what I'm saying, for your own lives, okay? Don't load yourself up with pharmaceuticals. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to make the world a better place. It fogs up people's brains. We want to make a paradise on planet Earth. We want to make it nice for everybody on planet Earth. We don't want to suffer anymore. We don't want anyone to suffer anymore. No money can be enjoyed on the cost of other beings suffering. The test animals that have to suffer for the pharmaceuticals, that's already ethical reason number one for anyone to quit that, what they do. It's unbelievable. And that is the testing on animals that I have seen on the internet is what causes me unbelievable stress, to the point where I still feel it in my left hand. I feel this like needles going through. It's still there, but it's gotten a little bit better. The combination stress with the horror that I see, very helpless, and that's why I am an activist. But all of us together, we can make it happen. We can make that stop. We can help the animals, and it's already happened. Together we already have banned things. We have banned the can hunting in Russia. We have outlawed the ear cropping and tail cropping in Canada and in Europe. There's a lot of things. We have outlawed chaining of dogs for more than 3 hours. And so all of these lots and lots and lots of good things that we have accomplished. So online petitions work. If enough people help, they work. And I also write written letters. All of this helps. But we also have to take breaks in between. We cannot overload ourselves, and particularly not those people like me who are extremely hypersensitive. they have to take a break from this. They have to be very careful what they look at, which website they go onto, and that they don't get completely overwhelmed with that extreme horror that is going on there. And anybody who says things are getting better, no, it's like for every success we have, there is more horror to uncover. I don't know if it's getting better, you know. Better, maybe it's getting better. Maybe people are becoming more aware of it. Maybe the word gets around. Maybe that's very excellent. But that doesn't mean, oh, things are getting better. I can lean back in my armchair now and let things just happen and do, you know, like, oh, let's just look the other way and then everything will be well. That doesn't work that way, okay? There are unspeakable atrocities happening on this planet, and every single human, we have that capacity, we have the brain, we have the hands, we have typing ability. We're here on land, we have legs, we can do all these things. We can make something happen with this combination that our bodies have. Okay, we can make it happen if we make the ethical choice to help. If we take that responsibility, every single person can help. So, and every single person also has the responsibility to become raw, fresh vegan and save their lives. I am doing it now, and that's why I'm sharing this video with you, to inspire you to do it. Take care.